What's up, y'all? This is Isaiah B. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into the channel. Without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. Fully develop yourself. Yeah, man, fully develop yourself. And this is a message that can go for both men and women. Both genders can, develop themselves in such a way that people are only coming into their world, making sure that it's so satisfied, it's so fulfilled that everything else is just icing on a cake, Now that phrase, fulfilling yourself has been a phrase that's, tailored towards men. And I second that. But in the same breath, just to keep things on a balanced perspective holistically, I want to add women into that to a certain extent. So either way, this message is going to apply, like I said, and, it's going to be very beneficial. So in fulfilling yourself is making sure that the cracks and crevices that you ultimately, looked over or you never had the chance to complete is now completed. Maybe it's you wanted to lose some weight. You wanted to work on that temper. You wanted to decrease that anxiety, whatever it is, whatever it is, you have to make sure that you're working on that, making sure that you're building on that, you're completing yourself. As the ultimate goal is to complete yourself and complete your mission, And no mission can really be completed, fully, successfully if a person is not completed within themselves. How many celebrities often, struggle with something, even though they have all the money in the world. You know what I mean? They have all these things on their plate, but they still deal with depression and drugs and, oftentimes because they haven't dealt with themselves. They haven't completed themselves, because that's when the issues come up. As opposed to if you took the time to work in yourself, you took the time to complete yourself, then that's something different. That's a whole different story, you see. I oftentimes recommend that people learn themselves and, figure themselves out before they try to figure out other people, i.e. get into a relationship is what I'm referring to. Because, and you see this all the time, people will often get into a relationship, get married, have kids without working on themselves. So then when it comes to a communion, a unity of people, especially with kids, man, the issues that the people have never faced, the issues that the people have drowned out, the issues and complications that people overlooked, they surface later in life. And this affects the kids in the end, So that's my point, that's the key message here, is to make sure that you're working on providing a complete perspective of yourself, So that way when you're sharing this with someone else, whether it be a romantic partner, a business colleague, a family member, who knows, whomever it may be, you're sharing, yourself in totality, as best as you can. Nothing's perfect. I'm not saying one should strive for perfection, but one should strive more so for completion, is what I'm saying. Right. So yeah, man, definitely, having the message be centered around working on those, those flaws, those, you know, those struggles that that you faced before, working on those would be the principal thing here, man. So like for me, I honestly had a tough time receiving criticism, and it's something I had to work on, just building on it until I built up such a tough skin that I oftentimes, look for criticism within myself, if it comes down to it. You know what I mean? I oftentimes wonder if I could do a better job at something, just my own self-criticism is what I do now, it's automatic. And, that's something that, not everybody can do. Not everybody can walk through, the mirrors of their mistakes or the mirrors of their bad decisions, and then come back, excited to produce something else or to do something else in that same realm. But, once you practice it, once you face it, then you become completed in that realm, And this could be anything, man. This can apply to anything, whether it be you're trying to learn a new skill, a new trade, a new business, a new venture, who knows? But whatever it is, make sure that you master it, Make sure that you master it, Because as I said, you're one day going to be sharing this with the world. You're one day going to be sharing this with the world. Let that sink in. I said it twice for a reason, You're going to be sharing your gifts with a stranger, who's going to be passing that information on to someone else. And if you do it correctly, man, you'll be one of the pioneers, or you'll be something who's looked up to highly. Like, think about basketball, man. Think about how Michael Jordan is one of the greatest. He mastered the game of basketball. He's complete in that facet of his life. But even within that, that took practice. It took skill. It took a lot of missed shots until he mastered it, until it became a part of him, So that's my advice, man. Don't ever feel like, the mistakes, the worries, the struggles, the controversy should ever stop you. Just let it build you, let it mold you, let it grow you into the person that you want to be. Whatever that is, only you can say, but just make sure that it doesn't stop you, And people will tell you to stop, people will tell you can't do it, Don't listen to them. More times than not, advice like that will come from people who are incomplete, that are not developed, So what do they know? You know what I mean? It's insane, but you'd be surprised, man. But yeah, man, I don't want to make this too long. Just wanted to push forth that message to be fully developed, fully complete yourself, and prepare to share it with the world too, Don't just master something and keep it to yourself. Share it. That's why the word, or I should say the title of master teacher, was utilized, because master teacher is someone who teaches the mastering of something. They mastered it and they're teaching it with the world now, as it should be. Advice and knowledge shouldn't be kept private. It should be shared. If it's something that's going to be an integral part of something that you want to belong to, you should learn that from that person, and they should share it. But that's it, man. That's all I got. Make sure you get complete. You're working on yourself, you're developing, and you're preparing to share it with the world. But that's it, man. That's all I got. Peace.